good evening, one and all, and welcome to another championship by the VTCC, the inaugural Positive Perception MX-5 Supersport Season 2, Round 1 at Donington Park, and that's quite a mouthful, and I got to the end fairly well, I think. So the gentlemen are on track already, so let's just do a little bit of the admin and get some of the information to you. So this is our lineup this evening and hopefully for the season in the Championship Season 2 for the Pro class. You can see the likes of Nathan Birch, Aaron Large, Ben Abbott, Dan Abbott, Scott Horn, all within their respective teams as well. So a fair amount of teams as well. AJR Motorsport there with 5 people in their lineup for the season. Joshua Brown as well, Tom Bradley, 888 there. All the regulars you'll see, Toby Owen as well running in this season. For Go For It Racing, Tom Farrell, Nick Bailey is back again, Alex Jameson as well, who'll be one to look out for, Will Sanders, Alex Richardson. Yes, we'll go through them a little bit more in detail perhaps a bit later with my co-commentators. We have our calendar this evening as well. You can see we're at Donington National for the first round on the 6th, and then we are in Italy for the 13th next weekend. A little bit of a break and continue on the championship, and then we have our streamers as well, so you can watch their perspectives from the circuit on the track. Alexander Rhodes, Aaron Large and Trev Hummer all for Twitch. In the Pro class, and then in the M class as well, which is the red there, Chris Callahan, Benjamin Oates, Will Harper, Thorsten Diego and Alistair Pollock all in their respective class. So I am also joined in the comms box by Chris Buxton, Mark Roddenberry, who I would bring in at the moment. Hello chaps, how are you both?
Hello. Glad to be part of this particular series. Hope you're doing well, McRae. Hope the chat are enjoying the return of this amazing series, the MX-5 Supercup. Yes, we have a very packed field of very good drivers awaiting us.
We do indeed. We're also joined by Mark. How are you this evening?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
No, not a problem at all. So, should we talk a bit more about what positive perception is first, or should we join straight to the qualifying action at the moment?
I'm happy to talk about positive perception. It is my baby, after all.
Good. Go on, by all means.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So, positive perception, there's 2 strings to it. On one hand, we have the fantastic livery creation side of it. That is within AC as well as ACC. I also do graphic work for various championships, etc., yada, yada, yada. The other side to my positive perception business is products. So we have mugs, we have bottles, we have towels. You name it, I can get it. That's me in a nutshell.
Fantastic. So if anyone needs a mug to drink their beverage while they're watching, they know the place to go now.
Absolutely. Everything is fully customizable, literally. There is no job that is too hard for us, essentially.
Good. So how many of the liveries have you done for this evening?
For this season, sadly, only 2. But that's because I've been so busy with other projects ongoing at the moment. So there's 2 drivers out there in my liveries, and I'm sorry to say I can't remember the names. I think they're both in the AM Championship, unfortunately. So you're not going to see them this week, but you will see them in all their glory next week, hopefully.
Good.
Excellent.
Right, we shall jump across to the qualifying for the moment.
Top of the tree is a team in Bramley with a 117.661. He's fastest lap. That is monstrously quick. I turned a few laps in this car track combination earlier this evening, and let's just say I wouldn't be anywhere near that kind of time. I would be underneath what AM can do. So we'll move swiftly on from that. We're looking at Daniel Abbott at the moment. Danny is currently 6th with a 118.3. His brother Ben currently sits 2nd with a 17.8. Just 2/10 rather off the top spot. So it's once again we're looking at very, very short gaps between them.
Charlie Heath just returns back to the pits there. Ben Abbott also on a quicker lap. Just watch him come across the line.
That's a Cadbury's flavoured livery, if ever I saw it.
It is indeed. Does indeed, just as he comes across. Nips pole position to first and third sector, sorry, being his fastest so far.
Indeed.
Let's have a little look. Alex Rhodes, I think, just returns to pits as well. That's quite a jump there from Scott Thorne, jumping up to 4th.
118 flat for Scott Thorne, indeed. The ATM coloured car. Oops,
that was a spin.
Facing the wrong way. Who was that?
Aaron Large, it was. The Scott sliding across.
Now, by his own admission, he did say that he was struggling. Now, I don't know whether he was being I've forgotten the word. I don't know whether he was kind of playing his own troubles down, but as he was facing the wrong way at Redgate, well, maybe he's struggling somewhat. I mean, if he's wriggling around like that, that's not going to help him.
No. It must be quite tricky to keep the tire temperature in the cars, I think. A little bit with such a small little nippy chassis. You're going to need every bit of grip you can get.
Indeed. So Ben Abbott, as mentioned, at the top of the tree with a 17.428. Timo Bramley has improved on his previous time, now 17.529, just over a 10th behind the current top spot. Then it's Nathan Birch, third position with a 17.938. So nearly half a second actually separating those two. It's Gavin Ransom, who currently sits in 7th place with a 118.1. Have you driven this combination, McRae?
Unfortunately, I mean these are a favourite of mine to race on the system, so I have experience in these, but not necessarily on this this layout. Done Donington and a couple of other little sim racing setups, but yeah, this particular one I'm not familiar with yet.
I mean, admittedly, I'm not familiar with AC as a whole. I'm far more familiar with other sims, but AC I have very little experience with. But I must admit, it was tremendous fun chucking these things. Oops, that was someone definitely facing the wrong way. That is, was our pole sitter, Ben Abbott.
It was indeed.
That's going very bizarrely wrong.
That was, I think that was showing off. A little handbrake turn and into the pit. So, indeed.
Oh, that's one way of going through Starkey's Bridge, I guess. Alex Rhodes. Yes, there's a name. There's a number of names that I, of course, recognise from being, commentating on the VTCC here at VRCC, of course, the Virtual Touring Car Cup. So it's actually really, I'm quite glad to be part of the MX-5 Super Cup, because now having driven these cars a little bit, they are tremendous fun to chuck around. And a lot of familiar names to me. I know how good these guys are, so really, really looking forward to this.
They are fantastic little cars as well. So just looking down, there's quite a number of people on there on the board, isn't it, at the moment? Aaron Large improving a little bit. That name jumps out, one of the AJR guys.
Trev Hammer, yes. He's worked his way, he's steadily improved through the sort of VTCC ranks. I believe I think he secured the championship for the AM side. Oops,
he did.
Steady. He's one of our Americans. So his ping is a little bit unkind, but he did secure. It was right down to the wire, I understand, from the AM side, but he is the AM champion for the VTCC.
He was indeed. I think it was within literally a cut, 2-3 points by the end of the season with I forgot her name, unfortunately, but with
Alice Hughes.
That's the one. Yes.
Yes, it was those two very much arguing for the top honours. For that championship, as Trevor's done exactly what I tend to do at Redgate. It's so easy just to wander a little bit too wide. Donington's a great track, but it's very challenging. And you can see from that camera angle, it's a really big drop as well, really from Redgate right the way down to Old Hairpin. It's such a great circuit.
It is a good one. Who is he catching up on? He is catching up to...
Trying to identify who that is. That's Nathan Birch.
Is it indeed? Let's have a look. It was indeed, yes.
Yes.
So yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time getting used to deliveries again, but I'm sure it will.
Yes.
It'll all fall into place eventually, I hope. Down at the bottom of the table for the moment, unless any last-minute improvements happen, is the series organizer Toby Owen. We go for it racing.
In chief, indeed.
Indeed.
Yes. So he tends to do this. He tends to sort of run his qualifying very late. He'll tend to sort of leave it very much at the last minute, and then do what he can. Now, by his own admission, qualifying is not his strong suit. He tends to try and build on an improving race performance, but it's he almost disadvantages himself straight off by struggling a bit in the qualifying. And we're now coming up to 5 minutes to go before the first of our 3 races for tonight. This qualifying session obviously deciding the grid for race number 1. Race 2 is decided. The grid for race 2 is decided from the results of race 1, and it's a top 8 reverse grid for the final race of the night. All 20-minute races and all going to be fantastic in these cars.
Indeed, it should be. Toby as well being a bit more at home with the MX-5 racing, the BRCC series in real life as well on the Mark 1s. So yeah, I'm sure should be quite comfortable with that as well. Just looking at the messages as well from Toby. This gentleman was originally, I think, meant to be in the AM class, but has now joined us in the Pro class last minute. So that should be quite interesting. Already showing good performance in the mid, just cracking the top 10. So yeah, that should be a good one.
Cracking livery. I like that. Very black and yellow scheme going on there. Very much a fan of it. As not a name I'm familiar with, so welcome aboard, Glenn Reynolds.
A little bit, I think, as he I think he raced in the A series cars originally on AC, and I think Falcon are a little bit more comfortable with the AC sim racing a bit. Very organised group.
To my shame, I can't remember who Falcon Racing's representative was in VTCC. I'm trying to remember now. It has slipped my mind.
Well, don't look at me. You got no hope in mind as well, but you can see.
Was not expecting an answer.
You can see as well the Falcon Racing Twitch channel on the side of the car as well for their perspective, I'm sure, this evening of how their race is going to be going. So yes, Ben Abbott still in pole position.
He is indeed, by 65 thousandths of a second over this man, Tom O'Farrell. So 17.428 against a 17.493 as he's heading back up the hill towards McLean's. He's just gone past.
Mr. Reynolds.
Talking to Mr. Reynolds, who we were just talking about. So yeah, lovely time there from Tom O'Farrell. I can confirm now that Toby's got a slightly more representative time on the board that I would have qualified last in this lobby. I absolutely would have been 20.5 was as good as I got in the practice laps I did, so I would most certainly have not been in this lobby. Personal best there by Josh Brown. That's a name I think we've seen. I haven't seen him in the VTCC. Oops, that's someone. That's Trev Hummer. That's got that all wrong. Up at the Robert Chicane. Oh yeah, that's a horrible position to be. I've seen that happen at Donington several times, and it must be terrifying if you're in a car that's just stranded in the middle of that chicane.
It does. It must be a bit scary trying to look as well. But Charlie Heath as well actually has pole position as we were looking. So yeah, missed that a little bit, but yeah, you can see improved on his time. So Ben Abbott's now down in second. I'm sure he's not going to take that down lightly.
17.370 for Charlie Heath. So that's a flying lap from Ben just beginning with just over 1.5 minutes.
He's still got a couple of opportunities, isn't he, to try and improve.
Indeed, and Charlie Heath's day is done. He's in the pits. He will not have time to come out and have another crack at the whip. So it's do or die, all or nothing now for Ben Abbott. Where is his brother? Down in 8th now with a 1:18.0. So a mighty 7/10 of a second from first to first to 8th. I mean, the entire field is 3 seconds at most, I think. And I think Toby Owen still struggling a bit with the traffic to get a clean lap in. There is Daniel Abbott, as previously mentioned. His best at 1:18.010 in the 92 car. He's got a few friends right behind him. Not 100% sure who's. Oh, that's not what he wants.
No, I did just see that on the screen as well. Nick Bailey having a little excursion there, so he's just managed to get around him fairly cleanly. But another one,
himself.
Indeed, another one struggling a little bit, isn't he? Unfortunately, for being a native MX-5 racer in real life.
Indeed.
But as you can see, tailing Dan Abbott now.
I just had a message from our founder, our commander-in-chief. He simply says, "Wow, this field is insanely close. I am very slow."
Oh no!
His words, not mine. That's a shame. By Toby's own admission, qualifying is not his strong suit. So I'll take it by that. He's back in the pits. Yes, he is. With the checker flag now out. Let us see who is able to improve on their standing.
So we're just going to follow Ben as he spins, and that's going to secure his second place. Just thought to see if how he could do on his last flying lap, and he does call that quits.
One commentator curse to you, Mr. Williams.
I just wanted to see what he was doing. Let's have a look. Was it Alex Rhodes still on his mid lap? If he can improve on his time, good performance. Still within a second of the fastest time.
Indeed, 1:17.816 for Alex Rhodes, a name I am very familiar with. Good to see him in this series, bouncing over the curbs. To keep the tail in check, which he does, and that's into the pits. No improvement for Alex. They were 2 yellow sectors, so he had done better in the past. There is Dan Abbott, 8th with a 1:18.010 he set some time ago, and it's 2 yellow sector times again. Is he going to complete this one? He is. Is he going to improve? Let us see.
I don't think he did. No,
I don't think he did.
Just as they all. Let's come out of that. They all exit the lobby. It tends to shuffle around a bit, so that is fairly normal. But yes, that was Charlie Heath with pole position on that one.
Aaron Large was parked out there by Schwanzke, but he's stuck his bridge rather, but he has reappeared back in the pit lane. So yes, Ben Abbott with that 1:17.428 secures him the pole spot. Only the final sector was his, actually. The purples were elsewhere, amazingly. But again, I just highlight how close this grid seems to be.
Faster speed to see at the moment is interesting, 112 odd mile an hour.
Indeed. I've got Charlie Heath on pole, I beg your pardon, with a 17.370.
Yeah, sorry, yes.
My mistake. So, yeah, it's going to be a difficult one to do. Yeah, 112 mile an hour, which I bet is great fun in these things. If you were to do it in real life. Never raced a car in real life beyond the go-kart, but yeah, I bet that is tremendous fun to do.
It should be indeed. So I believe we've got a 5-minute break, I think, before the next session.
Yes, there'll be a short break in between each session. So if we have the chance to speak to anyone, or if anyone wants to come and have a chat with us, then all can do. And
Hello.
Someone has joined us.
Hello, Charlie. How are you after that? Can you hear us all right?
Our pole man.
Mr. Charlie?
You with us?
We seem to be having technical difficulties with Charlie.
Afraid we can't hear you, Mr. Heath.
Really?
Now we can hear you.
There you go. Right. Yeah, first pole. Really wasn't expecting that. I thought about it earlier and thought I'd probably be 5th. But yeah, managed to get a good lap in.
No, definitely. Your pace is higher than that. How are the track conditions at the moment for you?
Tracks are good, but I was completely thrown because all the practice servers have been running tyre blankets, and tyre blankets weren't enabled. So it was going out on cold tyres, and pressure's all wrong. So you had to do 3 or 4 laps before you could actually put a qualifying lap in.
Fair enough.
It looks a very, very close grid. Are there a few names you're trying to keep your eye on from previous experience?
Well, yeah, obviously reigning champion Ben, and I've seen Tom O'Farrell going very well in the practice service. So yeah, I think it'd be difficult to keep those two behind me for 20 minutes, but well, we'll see what we can do.
Excellent stuff. Are you confident you can keep it on the front, or is there a particular position you have in mind, or are you still sticking with fifth?
I'll try and keep it at the front, but I think a podium I'd be happy with for the first race of the season.
Fantastic. Is there any sort of special plan for the beginning, for the first corner, to try and keep them behind, or is it just get a good start and try and drive away?
Yeah, just try and avoid getting tagged from behind, really, at the first corner at Donington.
Awesome stuff. Well, 3 races of the night. You're starting in the optimum position for race number 1. We wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much, Charlie.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Right, so about 4 more minutes or so before we get underway. The drivers are loading in now, and the grid should then be formed from the qualifying. We are seeing, well, Ben Abbott, our champion. He's got some work to do, it looks like.
Yes, I did. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to check who Season 1 champion was, but yes, Ben's going to be the one with the mantle to try and hold it, isn't he?
I thought it was Ben, but I'm glad someone confirmed it.
Oh dear! Yes.
Being that I didn't cover this series last time round, I'm rather wishing I had. That I decided to take a break in between the 2 VTCC series. That's a lot of zizzes in that sentence. But yeah, this will be good. It's always good when the champion has got immediate competition.
Indeed, it is. I think Alex Jameson as well. Where did he end up? I think because he was one to watch from racing in.
He's a VTCC champion, multiple season 1 and 2 champion. He was dethroned by his teammate Andy Gillone this time around.
Yeah. At the moment, it just looks like he lines up 11th, so a little bit off the pace from what we used to see from him.
Yeah, that was, I found a bit of a surprise. But Alex has had some terrible luck. He had pretty much every kind of technical trouble you can think of in this season of the VTCC. So let's hope this goes a bit better for him.
Indeed it is. Indeed, we hope so. So let's just go to the grid as they're all just lining up. Right, there we are. As you can see, the grid lined up. Go, Chris, would you like to go through them for me, please?
Thank you kindly, sir. Right, our pole sitter, Charlie Heath, for round number 1, alongside current champion Ben Abbott. Then row 2 is Tom O'Farrell and Teeman Bramley. Row 3, Nathan Birch and Alex Rhodes, veterans of these parts. Row 4, Scott Thorne and Daniel Abbott. So can the Abbott brothers reign supreme this time around? Row 5, Gavin Ransom and Glenn Reynolds. Row 6 is Josh Brown and the previously mentioned Alex Jameson. Row 7 is Aaron Large and Stu Neal. And row 8 is 2 names I'm going to struggle with, I think. It's Anu's, it's Striker. I'm not 100% sure how you pronounce that. Apologies for getting him wrong. Position in 15th position. And T.S. Kapakta. I've got to go with that one until otherwise told. So again, apologies if I'm getting that name slightly incorrect. Then row 9, Roy Grassi and Nick Bailey. Row 10, Trev Hummer and Amin Daragu. And finally, at the tail of the field is our founder and commander-in-chief, Mr. Toby Owen. What can he do from the back? Where can the field go other than, well, forwards would be an idea, but let's see how our brand new field for Season 2 get along.
Indeed, as we have our 6 red lights on the gantry for race 1, the inaugural race of the season. How will everyone perform? The lights go out and we are away. So as you can see, Ben Abbott immediately moving over, trying to get the inside line on Charlie, going into the first corner. Looks like he's got the jump. He's pushing him out. So that's going to be the first place to Ben Abbott already. And there's a spin from Charlie already on the first turn. He very nicely parked on the outside of the curb. Tom O'Farrell as well as falling down the order slightly. We have Tom Bramley as well doing the same. But loads of winners in that one as poor Charlie Heath just spinning out.
That's trouble ahead. Ben Abbott, I think, just got a tag there from... oh, no, big one. It wasn't Ben at all. Might be Scott Thorne. I mean, there's a lot of impacts going on.
There was indeed Nathan Birch, the yellow car that spun around.
There's a lot of trouble there. There's the Golf livery car as well, just recovering onto fields. Not 100% sure who that is.
We are looking at Scott Thorne at the moment in 6th place.
Oh no, it's Alex Jameson that's fallen to the tail of the field.
It is indeed, you can see in the Golf livery car. Very bright. I don't know how we missed that, but there we are. But as we come up to the chicane, we have Ben Abbott just about to take lap 1 in 1st place.
Well, it's all going well for the Cadbury's liveried Ben Abbott. Alex Rhodes into 2nd position, right behind Dan Abbott. So the Abbott brothers, oh no, Trev Hummer in trouble already before the lap is done. Another victim of the first lap. The American is still not getting a break.
He does get going now, which is good to see. We have, who is that? We have Stu Neal on the inside. Or is he getting, no, he's getting overtaken by Glenn Reynolds, the new pro driver to join. Still side by side going down into to the British section.
Very, very tight. You don't want to be going side by side into the old hairpin. Oh, lovely switchback from Stu there. Can he get the momentum he needs to complete the move? Yes, he does before he goes to Starkey's Bridge. And then up, coming towards Schwanzkerve, now towards McLean's. And that one is very much done and dusted.
Indeed as well. What's happened at the back? There's been collision. No. Alex Rose has just got going as well. Gavin Ranson as well. The other AJR car is spinning the wrong way round. Just gets going again as well. But will join all the way down in 18th. Just gently getting back on the circuit. Oh dear. Just saw that flash up on screen as well. I was looking at the battle between Aaron Large and Jay Brown as well. It was like a mirror image of the 2 cars in front. As everyone is now going 3 wide into the final chicane.
Wow, 3. That is brave, trying to go 3 wides into the rubber chicane. Charlie Heath, our pole man, is back up into 10th place now. What a recovery he's going through. Ben Abbott still leading the way. It's Charlie Heath, well, it's a couple of cars back. It's difficult to see because everyone's so closely compacted.
But Charlie Heath's under pressure from Grassy, though, I think, and does get overtaken. Anyway, Charlie Heath's up in 9th, actually. I think he was the one that was looking at the wrong one being overtaken, but there we are.
So he's overtaking his teammates, so they're wearing the same colour shirt. Oh, side by side, right ahead of them. I think it's Aaron Large.
Alex Rhodes as well is off again. Even worse now. Trev Hummer's actually come up as a DNF on the timing screen as well now.
Disconnected, yes. We have lost our American, sadly, as trouble has befallen him. Oh, Aaron Large is right in the middle of a pack. Well, pretty much
there is such a group of cars there, isn't there? All fighting for position.
I wouldn't want to be the one in the middle right now because that's a very dangerous place to be. Oh dear, nudge from that's Tom O'Farrell, I believe, in the middle. As Aaron's a little bit been nudged wide there. Oh, but there's a great move going on. Is that? That was Nick Bailey. It's the Scuzzle himself. It was the one in the middle. He's trying to make the move for 10th position then on Striker, and he's got it done in the middle of the rubber chicane. So that's a bit of a recovery there for Nick.
It does indeed outbreak Striker and Farrell to get that done, but he can't get away. You can't get away in these cars, can you? They're still on his tail, trying to do that at the first turn. As we have O'Farrell trying to get past Striker again.
Yeah, Tom O'Farrell trying to get the move done, going into Redgate still side by side with Arnie Striker right behind. As again, looking at 3 wide coming through the grain of curves, which is always, as mentioned, it's wide enough there, but then it rather pinches down as you get into the old hairpin. It looks like everybody is sorting themselves out. That's a spin well. That was well held. Slightly further back, I think it was Alex Rhodes that was getting a bit lively at the old hairpin. Oh, big one. No, I think it was Toby Owen that was getting slightly.
No, it was Taja Kapatika. That's completely wrong, but that was Toby Owen's counterpart to that.
Kapatka, I think it is, or Kapaka. I'm not 100% sure. Apologies for getting that name
I'll get an angry message later. Like, actually, it happened with I can't remember his name now, ironically, but yeah, so I got voice messages from people saying, "This is how you pronounce this Polish name." And it's like that was actually very helpful. So yes, by all means, let us know. As we're looking at the pack as well, Nick Bailey dropping down 2 spaces on the exit of the chicane.
Not a door banging going on in the middle of that. People trying to sort out where they're going to sit.
Going large up the inside. A good braking manoeuvre from him.
These cars will slide fairly well. They will, if you catch them, it's easy enough to control, but they're quite unforgiving. If you go that little bit too far, they're very unforgiving, I found. And that's a little bit of a wriggle there. Nick Bailey trying to get involved as well, so he's dropped a few positions. Oh no!
Touches the grass and off he goes, and it is contact with the barrier as well. So that is going to be suspension damage on that one. Unfortunately, not ideal.
Yeah.
Not anyone else's fault, unfortunately, as well. Just a little touch of the grass, and that sent him off into the barrier. I'll just check in with the leader as well, just to finish his just beginning lap 5, I think. 5 and a bit seconds ahead of the nearest competitor.
Which is his
brother, actually, yes. So the other Abbott name there. So yes.
Yeah, that's Dan Abbott's done well. I mean, he started down in 8th, I think it was. So he's worked his way up to 6th. I did hint that we may well see the brothers Grimm up front, and once again Ben and Dan Abbott's leading the way. Scott Thorne 3rd, Teeman Bramley in 4th position in that little trio there. A little bit further back, Stu Neal and Glenn Reynolds and Charlie He. Charlie now up to 7th place from that first corner spin. As I'm getting a message there of Striker and Duraggio that are having a bit of an argument. Arnie Striker is fallen a few positions. It was
Striker now down in 16th, yes. Alex Jameson up to 14th, so slightly worse off in his qualifying position.
Somewhat, as that's Aaron Largey's just gone past, or Banana Split, as I'll call him, as that was the colour of the BMW that he raced in, the VTCC, being white and yellow.
Indeed, Glenn Reynolds all the way up into 6th now, so good consistency from him. Obviously, Charlie Heath behind him as well, trying to bridge the gap to them. You've got the 3 cars in front, so it's all starting to get a little bit more spread out now after some very exciting 5-6 laps of racing.
Indeed. Fastest sector 1 from Teeman Bramley as well in 4th position, so couldn't unfortunately continue that. Well, speaking of, side by side as we come through Coppice, that's Nick Bailey having an argument with Gavin Ransom. That is very much wooden spoon avoidance going on between those two, trying to avoid being last. It's a great scrap nonetheless.
It is a good scrap. I mean, all the way down to the very last place fighting for position.
That looked a bit hot there for Gavin Ransom. He managed to get that move done, but I wondered if he was going to bounce over the curbs there at the Robert chicane.
Just curious on this battle as well between 17th and 18th, which is Alex Rhodes and Toby Owen.
Indeed.
Sort of in their own little space as well.
They're very much in no man's land there. They are about 6.5 seconds behind Arnie Striker and about 10 seconds ahead of the Ransom Bailey battle towards the tail end.
Alex get a little bit ahead of Toby at that point as well. Good little gaggle of cars chasing down. I think they're trying to chase down 12th place at the moment before a little bit of a gap to Mr. Birch.
That's Tejas Kapakta that's in 12th position there. He's got a lot of company staring his rearview mirror in the eyes. There's second position, that's Scott Thorne, and now ahead of Daniel Abbott. Oh, I wondered if he'd gotten Redgate a little bit wrong there, but he's managed to keep the car under control, coming down through Hollywood and heading towards the Crane of Curves. Team of Bramley, who's just set a purple sector 2 that time around. Purple sector 1 and 3 is actually Tom O'Farrell in 8th position. So Tom trying his best to make some headway there in 8th. But yeah, this three-way scrap, I suspect, is going to go on until the flag falls.
So been at one change of position already, which is Thorne got past Abbott into the first turn, but does that open him up? Everyone running off the track, trying to get as much speed as they can. Has that left him in a vulnerable position before the end of the race?
Well, team of Bramley survived that one. I mean, you can do it. You can keep your toe in it as long as the car is relatively straight. Here comes Dan Abbott then. He's got a bit of a slipstream off the back of Scott Thorne coming down towards the Robert chicane. Can he outbrake the 19? Yes, he can. The 92 slips back up into second, but he can't hold it though. He's lost a bit of momentum because of the narrow angle he had to take. Side by side coming down towards Redgate. Who's going to be the bravest on the brakes this time? I think Dan Abbott's going to have to let that one go unless he's going to banzai towards the apex.
He's holding him off just as they go through the first turn. It was a slight touch, but they all survived that.
Well played. Very well
played
driven from both of them, actually, as well, and Team of Bramley as well. He could have just kind of barreled into there. It's very easy to do. If the pair in front of you are fighting, you can inadvertently get involved, even though you're trying to mind your own business. Oh, he flirts with the grass, the outside of the old hairpin there, but manages to keep that one on the straight and narrow. Lovely three-way battle behind them. Charlie Heath now up into 5th. He's actually the head of that three-way battle that's behind this lot. And there he is, still arguing.
He's under pressure, yeah. Oh, I think there was a bit of a contact there, I think, unless that's a coding issue.
It could well be, but just usual trouble. We've got trouble further back, though. Duragio, 16th position, had an eye. Oh, no. Exactly the same way Nick Beatty did. That's down to the old hairpin.
Indeed. There's another change as well. As, Dan Abbott gets the position done again. Comes off the inside already, but I think he's just about managed to defend. No, they are side by side. It's slight contact going down the main straight. And again, bouncing off each other a little bit. That's getting very aggressive, and they both send each other off. Dan Abbott, is Thorne going to miss? Thorne indeed misses him, sliding across the circuit. As Dan Abbott very patiently gets going again, but joins in 7th.
I got a little needlessly aggressive there.
That did.
Unless there was some kind of lag issue that we couldn't quite see, but that was a bit needless, I'd have thought.
Because Bramley's connection is very, I suppose. No, Bramley wasn't involved in it, wasn't it?
It was Scott Thorne. It was Scott Thorne that were bouncing between himself and Dan Abbott. That's a bit of a shame. The stewards may well have to look at that one post race.
Charlie Heath lucked out on that as well, up in 4th. Bramley managed to avoid. Obviously, you could see the spinning Abbott brother in front of him, so managed to avoid him very well.
Also, Charlie Heath is the one with the fastest lap of the race thus far with a 17.450. So he's still the fastest man on track. So I think he may well have been a little bit modest in his expectations of 5th when we were speaking to him. He's what a cracking job in 15 minutes or so to go from last all the way up to knocking on the door of the podium.
Indeed, very, very well done for that. We've had a couple of people. We did have Jay Brown in the pits as well. I think no one else has had to make any unplanned pit stops as well, but 6 minutes remaining. This man just storms away with the lead. Obviously, that little battle behind him is going to help that, but over 8.5 seconds now is the gap between Ben Abbott and Mr. Bramley with the Triple 8 race number.
He's just disappearing off into the sunset now, isn't
he? He is. It's practically a Sunday drive now at this point, isn't it? Just on his own, just in at Donington. What was the gap? So there's a decent gap between 2nd and 3rd now as well. Although Charlie Heath doing his best to chase down Mr. Thorne.
Certainly is. And there is Charlie Heath in 4th position. Slightly further back in 7th position, that's Dan Abbott. So trying to recover from that spin that he was sadly involved in. Right behind him, Tom O'Farrell. We've seen him lighting up the purple sectors earlier on. His fastest lap was 17.5, which is
There
half a
is the
second
battle.
quicker than
I
what we
thought
see down.
I saw a little manoeuvre happening. So Nathan Birch trying to get past Roy Grassi, just tucks in behind as they get to the chicane.
Indeed, Tejas Kapaka with an unusually defensive run along that back straight. There's actually Alex Jameson in the golf-coloured car. We saw him coming to grief early on. So a decent recovery drive for him. Side by side coming into Redgate. Nathan Birch on the outside line. It can be done, but generally that's going to happen.
Couldn't hold the line. Yes.
Roy Grassi. I mean, Roy Grassi had the racing line, so it really was only ever going to end up with Nathan doing a bit of lawn mowing, but down through Hollywood and Cranny Curves now towards the old hairpin. Oh, Nathan's gone a little D. Oh, he's held it, but he's going to lose some momentum there. Alex Jameson's definitely going to get involved with this one.
He seemed to carry quite a bit of speed actually after his little off, so that didn't come a cropper of that, but that little wobble going in through the bridge section didn't help.
Good catch, Alex Jameson there, the South African champion. He got that line a little bit wrong in Coppers. It's so blind. It's such a difficult corner. You're coming up to it, and you pretty much have to commit to it well before you've seen it. Well before you've seen the apex line for Coppers, but defending all the way down the back straight and into the rubber chicane once again. Here's Alex Jameson. Can Nathan Birch get the drive he needs off the chicane? It's going to be difficult for Jameson to defend it.
Certainly looks like
Charlie,
he's going to
whilst we're
try.
talking about that, Charlie Heath up to third now. Oh, there's the move from Nathan Birch. Jumps out from the slipstream. Well, it was almost Jameson let him go, but Jameson returned to the racing line. But he wants to drive out of Redgate, side by side once again into Hollywood. Ooh, well driven from both of them, both in giving racing room to the other. Now into Craney Curves. Who's going to be braver going through old hairpin? Alex Jameson's got the inside line, but Nathan Birch has the momentum. What a move from Nathan
Held
Birch.
onto that,
Yes. That
Back up into the top 10s. Jameson now on the attack once again, trying to get that position back. Unless Birch can bridge the gap. As you can see, it takes a long time to get away from anyone once you pass them. Not the most horsepower cars you've got to deal with, but yes.
So indeed, and whilst these are open setups, they're tuned to the liking of the driver. You're not going to find a lot of power out of any particular any particular setup. There's Charlie Heath now in a podium position.
But Bramley exited Roberts very scrappily, so that's brought the gap down between Heath and Bramley. So could potentially bring himself up a step.
And Heath has actually improved on his already fastest lap of the race with a 17.333 last time around. So Charlie Heath's got some amazing pace in his car. And now going through old hairpin, he's really piling the pressure on the team of Bramley, who is only about half a second slower as far as fastest laps are concerned. But Charlie's been on an absolute mission.
It has indeed. There's lots of changing happening as well between it. This battle's still going between Birch and Jay. And also, I think Alex Rhodes as well, recovering up to 13th, getting past Large and Striker. So good result for him as well on his recovery drive. And Large and Striker really still scrapping it out behind him.
And still going up the hill then through Schwantz Curve, and still side by side coming into Coppis. Oh, that's Bramley and Heath.
That is almost got the manoeuvre done, but had to back out of that, and that's allowed Thorne to get back into the action.
Yeah, Charlie Heath lost so much momentum going through the Robert chicane, and Scott Thorne is not one to lose out on that opportunity, though. He's boxed in a little bit behind Team and Bramley, so couldn't really get the momentum he needs. This is going to be a brilliant three-way scrap for the podium spots. Well, the last two.
That was a slow run through Redgate for Bramley. It looks like he's just rubbing the back of the bumper, just trying to let him know he's there. So can they all keep it together?
He's there. Oh, don't go three wide coming up, going through Starkey's Bridge. No, and again, look at that. Scott Thorne boxed in behind Team of Bramley. This is a great opportunity for Johnny Heath. Has he got the momentum to get on the inside of McLean's? Oh,
Bramley runs wide.
For Team of Bramley up the road, and that's Charlie Heath up into second. It's not done though. The checker flag is about to fall. but he's not far off falling. Oh, sorry, 30 seconds away from falling. So it's going to be another
So a
lap.
couple-
Ben Abbott
yeah.
will beat the flag. But Charlie Heath has managed to reclaim second, but he's got to defend for everything he's got to maintain that second position.
That was a very, very well-timed move getting round into second place. Thorns behind him. Bramley, unfortunately, just lost out a couple of places there. Now out of the top three, out of a podium position, and falling off the back of that group a little bit as well. As the timer reaches 0 now, so this will be the last lap. Where was our Ben Abbott? Just on the exit of Starkey's Bridge.
Indeed, he's going to be up the hill towards Schwant's Curve and now through McLean's.
But hasn't really put a foot wrong. not too much to say. Not too much to say about his race. He's 13 seconds ahead. Such a smooth run, smooth driver by the looks of it as well. Hasn't had any panic moments at all. Has just done a fantastic job, and now has ended up, with the first race win of the season.
He starts as he means to carry on, continuing his championship winning ways through the Robert Chicane. Your winner here at Donington Park for race number 1 is the champion. He's the number 1 himself. It's the Caprice flavoured Ben Abbott. Nicely driven.
Very well done to him.
And a great bit of turbo at the end. Excellent stuff. Well done. Second place, our pole man, Charlie Heath. What a recovery drive from going down to last to finish second with the fastest lap. Scott Thorne rounds out the podium. Actually, so Teeman Bramley didn't finish on the podium after all that. Scott Thorne managing to steal that last spot towards the end. Stu Neal comes home 5th. Tim O'Farrell in 6th. Glenn Reynolds 7th. Dan Abbott in 8th. Roy Grassi in 9th. A lot of bouncing and shoving going on. Fair play, why not? Roy Grassi.
That was the brother spoiling his showboating there on that one.
Why not? Why not? Wow, what a race we've seen. Let there be more of that.
Fantastic. So I believe we need to. We should momentarily get Ben in comms box. But yes, first impressions of that, Chris.
Oh, more of the same, please. That was absolutely brilliant. I'm sure that Ben Abbott would have liked to have a bit more competition up front, but my goodness me, the amount of fighting we saw throughout the field was spectacular.
It was indeed. It was very, very entertaining. Slightly bad luck befalling some of the competitors, which is not always good to see.
Indeed. So we see if we can grab hold of our podium 3. So where's Scott Thorne? Let's have a quick message to him, see if he wants to have a chat. There will be a 5-minute break now in between races 1 and 2. So the grid formed from the results of race 2, so Ben Abbott and Charlie Heath will be taking the front row for that one. And good stuff. Scott is happy to have a chat to us. Let's grab him in. And there he is. Scott Thorne can hear us.
Mr. Scott?
Mr. Scott.
Hello.
There you are.
Hello. Hey.
Oh, did you have a lot of work to do to secure that podium spot?
I know. I thought I'd had it, and then I lost it, and then I had it again, and yeah, I was quite chuffed with that towards the end. I was very sweaty now.
Brilliant stuff. I mean, so talk us through it. It was you. Sort of you and Teeman for a while, and then suddenly a wild Charlie Heath appears. Talk us through it from your side.
Yeah, so it was quite a good battle. I got forced off the track at the start finish straight, and then fell behind. I think it was Timon, and then Charlie got past me as I outbraked myself into the last chicane, and then I thought I was in 4th, and then all of a sudden Timon just lost all of his pace the last lap or two, and managed to get by him. Almost got Charlie as well, but as soon as Charlie got ahead of me, he was gone. I don't think I quite had the pace for P3 really, but sort of made the most of the situation.
I see. So, I mean, where realistically are you positioning yourself kind of top 5 in which case, despite the fact that you'll obviously score the podium this time out? Are you looking to repeat it, or are you thinking top 5, top 10? Where are you putting yourself?
Yeah, so I think in practice I was about 4th or 5th. I've got a little bit of time in me from what the actual time says, but yeah, I think realistically probably 5th. I think that the sort of the 4 or 5 guys in front are pretty quick. So yeah, I'll take top 5 next race, definitely.
We wish you the best of luck for the rest of the night and the rest of the season. Thank you very much, Scott Thorne.
Thank you.
Paul Matt.
We also do have Mr. Ben has joined us as well.
We do. Who shall we chat to first? Who should you call in, Mr. McRae?
We have Charlie and Ben here. Which one wants to pipe up first?
I can.
Go for
Charlie
it, Charlie.
Wins. So, from pole to last to second. What a race, sir.
It was a lot of fun, I've got to say. From the last 2 series I've raced with Ben, I know he starts quick, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep him behind me off the start. But not really sure what happened after that. I turned in, and maybe someone had just got the nose up the inside, and I didn't see him. And yeah, so I spun out and pretty much last. And then just a really good fun driving through the field. So yeah, congrats to Ben for the win. But yeah, I'm really happy with second after what happened on lap 1.
So as you were approaching that podium fight, I mean, I'm assuming you'd kind of almost written off first by that point, because Ben was some 10 seconds ahead of you by the time you found Scott and Seaman. Bearing in mind you'd come past everybody else, you must have been thinking, yeah, this is, what was running through your mind? What was the thought when you were finding the podium positions?
Well, I think when I caught sort of 5th and 6th, it took me a little while to get past them. And to be honest, I thought I'll probably 4th is as good as I'm going to get. And then I think it was Scott as he said, made a little mistake at the chicane, and I managed to catch him and get past. And then I think it was Tiemann in front then who again made a couple of little mistakes, which just allowed me to get in his toe. And yeah, it just all worked well.
Top 5, he says. Goodness me, you're such a modest man.
Cheers.
Well, best of luck for the rest of the night and the rest of the season. Thank you very much, Charlie Heath.
Thank you.
Mr. Williams, would you do the honours?
Or
are you still fighting with the machinery?
Still battling with machinery, just slightly, just trying to get it going.
Okie dokie.
Do we have...
Mr. Abbott, are you with us? Oh, a bit of a crunchy microphone there. You were hearing us okay?
I am indeed, yeah.
There we go.
That's better. Excellent. Well, I mean, what can we say? We barely saw you. You were there on the front, and you just danced off into the sunset.
Yeah. Starting off this season like I finished last season, with lots of wins, which is good. The competition this season looks pretty fierce. It's going to be good, but I always seem to start these quite well, so I thought I'd go for the overtake into the first corner. Charlie didn't defend, which I was quite curious about, but anyway. And then I looked in the rearview mirror and just saw the carnage unfold and thought, right, got a gap now. Just get head down, get consistent laps in, put some quick laps in to build that gap, and then not make any mistakes. But yeah, it was good fun. Quite enjoyed it. But would have liked to have had a battle, but I'll take the points nonetheless.
So, I mean, was there any... How much did you have left in the tank? How much time was there still that we haven't seen yet?
A couple of tenths, if that. Like, I like these cars. I can get pretty consistent lap times on them. Donington is my least favourite circuit that we're doing. I just don't... There's a couple of corners I can't get to grips with. But a couple of tenths max. But we'll have to see. Charlie Heath's lap time was pretty quick. I don't think I've gotten that lap time yet, so I'll have to see in the next race if he gets a good launch and then what happens.
Well, I mean, if you're winning by nearly 15 seconds on a track you don't like, I dread to think what's going to be happening on the track you do.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm hoping. I can't remember which one's my favourite out of the list, but I do like Valagunya, which I think is the second one. It's a good circuit, but yeah, I mean, I don't dislike it too much. It's just there's a couple of corners I know I'm losing time on, but they're quite good corners to defend at. So I'm hoping that they're the corners that Charlie's getting time, and I can just hold him off the whole race.
We wish you the best of luck for the remainder of the season and, of course, the rest of the night. Thank you very much, champion Ben Abbott.
Thank you very much.
Race 2 now is forming up, so another couple of minutes before we get underway. Oh, thoughts, Mr. Williams?
The pretty much the same as you when he said that as well. I was like, well, if this is a track he doesn't like, then like, what performance what's he going to be like on tracks that he does? And it's like, yeah, but you know, the entire grid is a fantastic thing to watch. So yeah, right.
I found it interesting what he said when he said he only had a couple more tenths. There was 3 tenths between his best and Charlie's best. So might we see the challenge be different tracks? Of course, will yield different results, almost certainly. But you know, if Charlie gets a bit more luck, then Ben's going to have to fight for it. By the sound of it.
Quite possibly, yeah. I think possibly if everyone can get up to speed, and yeah, it's going to make, I think, the reverse grid race quite interesting as well, with that little bit of a mix-up. So yes, anyway,
I love reverse grid races.
Let us get down to the grid as well. Fantastic. Right, there we go. So we are now down at the grid for race 2. So they are starting pretty much in the same order that they finished from race 1. So we have Ben Abbott on pole on row 1 with Charlie Heath next to him. Scott Thorne and Tim Bramley are on row 2. And then, yeah, everyone's just sort of continues on from there. As we have our 6 red lights on the gantry for race 2 as we're about to begin. Let's see whether Charlie can get a good start and get Ben Abbott on the start. We shall see. The lights go off and we are away. Everyone's sort of staying roughly where they are, shifting a little bit. There is cars in the middle. Ben defending pretty instantly and gets through the first turn on a very good start. As we
cautious there from, I think it was a bit cautious there from Charlie. Is a bit wide. Oh, that's nicely done. That's Tim Bramley. There's lost a few positions from the start. He's very much being hung out to dry there, isn't he? He's goodness me, all the way down. That's 9th then for the treble 8 car. That's Nathan Birch up into 8th place. Wow, Tiemann all the way down to 9th. Not what he would have looked for.
That is Toby Owen spinning in the background as well, just briefly just to cut in. As contact as well was made with one of the AGR cars. And again, I think Ranson as well spinning out, I think in avoidance. But yes,
one all for commentator because I literally was just saying it looks like everyone survived, and then Toby Owen sadly coming across. So
poor Toby as well, to curse as well. And that is also Glenn Reynolds pointing the wrong way as well, just getting back on track. Falcon driver just after McLean's getting going. There's a lot of changes as well, just as we watch Jameson trying to defend from Nick Bailey. Nick Bailey gets up the inside. We've got people being squeezed out, and yeah, James gets the run and tries to get back up the inside as well. The only car changing position after the Robert chicane. They're all still starting to bunch up as well after that start.
Side by side still, Jameson. He's demoted down to 13th then. That's Nick Bailey. Oh, that's very wide. Get back on track, Mr. Kipaka. Does manage to do so, but side by side with is that Bramley? My goodness, all the way down to 16th now.
It was indeed, yes. But loses out to Bramley. Bramley up into 15th. Just check on the lead battle because I saw the gap was coming down, and Charlie Heath now on the back of Ben Abbott on lap 2. Just to go through the McLean's trying to chase that gap down. So Ben Abbott not able to relax yet. He knows how quick Charlie Heath can be. So this could be a very exciting battle to continue.
Wow,
Defending
look how defensive.
already.
Look how defensive Ben Abbott's gone. He's really feeling the pressure from Charlie Heath now. That's going to potentially compromise his exit from the Robert chicane. Can Charlie Heath get the momentum? Not quite. There's Scott Thorne trying to muscle his way up into second position. Looks like he's going to get that one done. Charlie had a terrible run through that chicane. Nearly 3 wide coming into Redgate then. That's Tom O'Farrell looking to get involved in that particular battle. It's exactly what Ben Abbott wants. He wants Charlie to be kind of wrestled off his tail. But so far, Charlie Heath has dealt with the pressure from behind. And, oh, blimey, now side by side, that's Scott Thorne and Tom O'Farrell through Craner Curve with Stu Neal right behind them as well, into the old hairpin, still side by side. It's more difficult to do than it looks. And that's Scott Thorne back up into third again. Now Stu Neal's getting involved in this battle.
He's followed him through, isn't he?
He
has indeed. He's followed him through, trying to get through. I was just looking, I think it was Tom O'Farrell's personal best sector, but no, he spins.
Oh dear, I briefly just looked away. I wasn't.
So did I. Yes. No, I don't know. I don't know if he got helped. It was either a major tank slapper or just a slightest touch on the back end sent him round, and that's left a huge amount of cars chasing him down. The front of that being Nick Bailey now, who will get him on the straight as he can't get the pace back up. Down Starkey straight before Roberts. Can he defend? It looks like no. Nick Bailey's going to get that position off him as well. So more insult to injury for Thorne.
Yeah, he's tried to turn in there, but Nick was still occupying that spot. There's Alex Jamieson at the bottom of the shot, trying to make a move on. It's Aaron Large he's having an argument with. It is indeed, but Aaron's got the inside line coming on towards Redgate. And Alex Jameson's going to try to come back underneath him before they get into Hollywood. He's going to have the racing line coming down into the Craner Curves, but Aaron Large still holding on to that. They're both very, very experienced sim racers. It looks like James is going to complete that one. Oh, slightly further back. Doraggio is having an argument with.
It's just because he lost like 5 or 6 places in one go. I thought he'd spun, but no, I think he just got pushed on the outside of turn 1, and that just caused him to lose several places.
Indeed.
His teammate Toby Owen, I think, trying to chase him down as well. Trev Hummer as well is in the pits again after the beginning of second race.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened to Trev, unfortunately.
No. As they come through Roberts once again for lap 4, Charlie Heath has managed to close down the gap once again.
Purple sector 1 for Charlie Heath, purple sector 2 for Tom O'Farrell, now up into third place as they sweep through Redgate once again. And we've lost Trevor Hammer from the race again. Oh, Charlie, I think got a bit crossed up there. Coming through Redgate, that's going to cost him a few tenths. Indeed, it has from the race leader. He's got a little bit of breathing space between himself and Tom O'Farrell as those through almost equidistant apart. Actually, the top 4 are pretty much equidistant apart.
Not this battle now. No. These are a little bit of a traffic, a little bit of a queue forming behind Scott Thorne taking to 11th place off Nick Bailey. Nick Bailey touching the grass. That's a massive slide. He keeps it well held, but there's contact with.
Striker.
Striker and the mirror image of race 1 for Nick Bailey as well, making contact in the same place.
He's probably found his car paint on that same spot from race 1.
Just helping change the barrier colour.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that was a shame. Just as he'd recovered from the slide, he got punched in the face from Arnie Striker there. A great shame, but back underway all the same. That's probably going to be wooden spoon for him unless somebody else has some kind of trouble. But now this particular pack seems to be stringing out a bit, but this one mistake is going to completely change this whole pack, I'd have thought.
It is indeed.
Oh, like so. 2-1.
Literally just looked away just for a second. The commentator's strikes again. And poor Striker after contact with Nick as well. And now that sends him into the barrier on the exit of Robert's chicane.
A shame, as he hit the ball pretty hard there. Oh dear, it looks like he's struggling then to get the car to behave itself. Coming through Redgate, Toby Owen closing in on him.
That's going to put him off, I think, a little bit on it. Put him off his line.
Yeah, it would seem so. I would think Toby Owen's probably going to make that pass pretty simple. Jumping further up the field, Josh Brown in this three-way fight with Roy Grassi and Alex Jameson. Alex was at the head of this three-way pack a little while ago, but I think he's made a mistake somewhere that's put him now towards the tail of it. They're just what is now the bottom of the shot is Alex Rhodes, who finds himself in a bit of no man's land, comparatively speaking. All side by side, coming down towards the Robert chicane. Alex Jameson, I'm not sure whether he's meant to make that into an offensive move. I think that was possibly more a defensive effort there from Josh Brown. That's they both managed to back away from Roy Grassi by doing that. And right behind them is Aaron Large.
It is indeed just trying to bridge the gap to that little battle as well. Jameson side-by-side contact with Brown into the first turn, which they both get away with.
I think we didn't really... that was a little bit clumsy, I think, and that's cost Jameson badly. Look at the momentum he's lost. Aaron Large now right on his tail, coming into the old hairpin. As Jameson,
big old slide.
South African, and that should surely be the momentum and the position for Mr. Banana Split. It is indeed. Aaron Large then should move up into 10th position, unless Jameson's going to banzai. No, he decided not to banzai the inside of McLean's, and through he goes. Through goes Aaron Large up into 9th. Hang on, someone's fallen.
Mr. Bramley has come off as well.
Oh no!
Nick Bailey's gained a position.
That's right.
I think there was contact with several different people actually. I think on his way round. But Mr. Bramley, being the worst out of all of them, now gets the wooden spoon from Nick Bailey at the end.
He finished in 4th. Was challenging for 2nd in race 1.
So an unlucky streak for race 2. Aaron Large and Jameson swapping places as well.
Roy Grassi and Josh Brown as well, having a great fight for 7th position. Alex Rhodes is just sauntering away from them. He's quite happy that they're all fighting. Good run for Roy on the way down through Hollywood and the Craner Curves. There was a bit of a wobble there from Josh right behind him. So that's given him all that much space.
Lap 7, just checking in on the racer leaders at the moment. Ben Abbott still leading, decent gap to Charlie Heath. Whether Charlie Heath is saving his energy and his tyres and all the rest of it for the end of the race to try and bring the gap down and take position. Just holding the gap at the moment. In second, then Tom O'Farrell in third at the moment, and then a decent gap to Stu Neal behind them.
About 4 seconds back to Stu Neal, who's got the advances of Dan Abbott. So once again, both Abbott brothers in the top 5. So didn't quite go Dan Abbott's way last time around. Fastest car on track is Ben Abbott this time around by about 300ths a second over Charlie Heath. So Charlie hasn't quite matched his pace, only by a 10th of a second in fairness, but hasn't quite got that magic pace he did last time around. His last lap at 18.1. As Ben was a 17.7. 17.3, actually. I beg your pardon. A new fastest lap of the race by Tom O'Farrell right behind him. That's not what Charlie would want to see. But Tom O'Farrell probably getting a decent helping of slipstream as well from the back of the second place car. Tom O'Farrell really bringing himself into play.
Certainly doing his best. Little change for 6th place. Another little gaggle of cars starting to come together as the battle between Roy Grassi, Jay Brown. Jay Brown's lost speed, and it looks like Alex Jameson trying to get on the outside. Can't get it done yet. Boxing himself in a little bit. Stu Neal, what's happened to him? He's off the circuit.
Oh no!
So just as he come up to Tim McLean's, that massive gaggle of cars is hunting him down. That's 3 wide going into McLean's as well behind them. And slight contact between the cars behind. Jesus Christ, where do we look? There's like so much happening now within this little surge of cars.
It's a good problem for a commentator to have side by side coming into the Robert Chicane. 2-3 side by sides indeed. I think they've all managed to resolve that before they got there. But Roy Grassi has been the winner in that one, I believe. So with right ahead of Roy, Stu Neal, who leads that whole train now. Oh my word. Yeah, I don't envy Stu Neal right now. Nathan Birch on the outside of Reynolds coming into Redgate. Who's going to win out over that one?
Glenn
Gavin
Reynolds, a
just
good,
about.
good manoeuvre in turn one. Very clean getting that done.
Glenn Reynolds, yes. I beg your pardon. But yeah, he manages to hold that one quite nicely. So we look at that's Scott Thorne hanging on to the top 10. Aaron Large now in 9th position. They bounce over the grass down there at Old Hairpin. Up the hill through Schwanskov once again. Side by side yet again coming into McLean's. Right ahead, it's Jameson. That's fighting with Roy Grassi, is it? Yeah.
It is. Does get the manoeuvre.
And he's got it done as well. He's having a much better race this time around than last time. Oh, looks like the lead battle has condensed as well.
It has indeed. The gap's come down a bit. There's still, 6 and 3/4 minutes left between Ben Abbott and Charlie Heath to resolve their battle. Charlie Heath now stepped up at his pace, so he's now 0.3 behind. They've left Tom O'Farrell in the dust a little bit, haven't they? As Charlie's picked up his pace. So I think he's decided now's the time to try and get that manoeuvre done.
Yeah, several battles. Obviously, that's a big train that we were looking at before. Still, oh no, trouble! Gavin Ransom's around. Oh no!
And Thorne as
Along
well.
with Scott Thorne has had trouble. Wow, and someone else was having a big moment. Who was that?
I think they were separate incidents, weren't they? They weren't anywhere near each other at turn one, but yeah, just unfortunate that both of them, spun at the same time.
I think we can discount any fluid down on the track. That's not how the sim works.
No. Yes, I was striking now, trying to get the manoeuvre done around Thorne. Trying to get back up to pace now.
Nice move. He had the outside line coming through Starkey's Bridge and Schwansker. 3 wide now coming up to McLean's. Oh, who's going to be bravest here? And that's gone the way of Arnie Striker. Nicely done. That's going to switch back underneath for Scott Thorne. Right behind him is Ranson and Duraggio. Side by side, still on the straight. Heading down towards Robert Chicane. Oh, he's gone for it. He's gone for the move. That's going to be impact. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be quite enough room to get that one done. Woo, and nearly impact there, as well as he's returned to the track.
No one wanted to give that, did they, as they came to the breaking point? But yeah, they all carry on. They've all sort of got away with that. But it's a bit of a dodgy manoeuvre that. So
indeed it was, and that's Kipaku that's right in there as well. So that's the 17th position, 16th position. Beg your pardon.
What is happening here? We've got people off the track. Roy Grassi is just returning to the track and now rejoins back in 10th. Glenn Reynolds up into 9th now. Mason Birch in 8th. Jameson up into 6th now, opening the gap massively to Stu Neal and that group of cars behind him.
Wow, yeah, the South African really has found his groove with this car track combination. There's Stu Neal now with some breathing space fore and aft. We've had a change for second.
We have indeed. I saw the gap going down, increasing a little bit, but yeah, I didn't realise Charlie Heath had been overtaken. But yes, Tom O'Farrell is up into second now with 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, still time for that to change round. Tom O'Farrell, purple sector 1 as well. So he's pressing on. He's looking at the Cadbury's flavouring of the car in front. We'll see how that pans out then.
Yeah, Ben Abbott not getting away yet, is he?
No, he's not been able to break whoever the advances of the car behind, whoever that was. He hasn't been able to break them. And yeah, Tom O'Farrell still with that fastest lap of the race from earlier on, 17.321. What can he do this time in that sector? He was about 32,000 slower than Ben. So Ben doing just what he needs to do to hang on to the lead with 3 minutes to go.
Indeed, the other Abbott brother holding on to 4th at the moment. Slight no man's land as it is. Alex Jameson in 5th. Good result. Alex Rhodes in 5th for a good position for him. Jameson now trying to open the gap even more to Stu Neal. What's happening here? We have Glenn Reynolds up the inside going into Roberts over Roy DeGrassi. They all find their breaking point. He's going to have to be careful about Joshua Brown getting the run on the exit. They're very bunched up, so who's going to go for the manoeuvre? 3 wide. Are we going to see into turn 1? They're certainly trying to defend and attack at the same time. Wouldn't want to be the man in the middle, but that's a very round the outside for Joshua Brown.
Hung out to dry though, yeah. And
He
he was
lost
indeed.
speed.
Now Large is going to go through as well. Is that going to make Josh Brown's day even worse? No, he's managed to get back up to speed again now, coming through the corner curves. Aaron Large is going to have the inside line if he can hold the line, though, for the old Hebbin. No, he backs out of that one probably wisely. It's not a great way. It's not a good idea to go side by side. We have, of course, seen it. It is certainly doable, but it's so tight in the old hairpin. It's not a great idea to do less than 2 minutes to go.
Indeed it is. Getting flashes up, there's contact between these two gentlemen. So it's getting it's getting very aggressive between them at the back. So that might need a steward to step in. As there's a change for 2nd and 3rd once again. So Charlie Heath has now managed to get up into 2nd
Nick
place.
Bailey's argument with the wall again, unfortunately.
Indeed, yes.
It's in the same spot again. He's repainting the wall down there in the infield of the old hairpin. Oh dear, not a good day for the Scuzzle.
Not indeed. 1 minute remaining. The battle for 2nd place is hotting up at the moment. Ben Abbott this is what he was hoping for, to get further ahead. Tom Farrell on the outside, very well done, as they come to find their breaking point for McLean's.
What a moves.
Indeed.
So, it looked like Charlie had a bad run through the old hairpin. And Tom O'Farrell had the belief to stick that one on the outside of McLean's to get that one down. What a move. That was very good to see.
Charlie Heath right in the slipstream, trying to find an opening under the breaking point, but Tom defending. That's the back steps out there on the entrance into Roberts, and that's going to lose him a fair bit of time. Not the time that you want. As they come across the line, 22 seconds remaining. That is going to be, so this is going to be the last lap of the race. Penultimate lap of the race? Last lap of the race? I can never remember. Last lap of the race, I think.
It'll be last lap of the race.
Yeah, last lap of the race now for the leading pack. 2.5 seconds now. The biggest gap he's seen in race 2 from 2nd place now. Ben Abbott looking to secure another victory as the white flag is now raised.
Finding strikers had trouble. I just saw he was parked down the infield by the old hairpin. He's now down into 19th place behind Toby Owen. So trouble for there. It looks like the field has pretty much spread out now. Stu Neal's got some company, I can see.
Quite.
In 7th.
Yes, there we go.
There's a few people with a few
away.
battles. There's a few battles still raging on. It looks like, it's a Roy Grassi and Aaron Large having an argument, I believe, for 10th position. But winner of race number 2. So continuing his championship charge as he would like, it is once again the champion. Ben Abbott takes the win.
Well done to him. And as you can see, Tom O'Farrell taking 2nd, Charlie Heath settling for 3rd. But still a fantastic result for him as well. So he'll slide to a stop. Who do we have? There's a little battle behind there. What's going on there? That is Aaron Large and Roy DeGrassi coming into side by side, coming in to Roberts. And Roy just defends. I think that's going to be enough. Ransom trying to get involved in that as well, but they will finish in that position. I think they're not a long enough run to the end of the race, and they do finish. Reynolds, Grassi, Large, and then Ransom.
Indeed. What another great showing from our drivers.
Fantastic.
A big punch in the face there.
Indeed, just at the end. Like, oh dear. Fantastic. Well, yeah, more of the same. I think that wasn't it, for race 2? It was ordered and it was delivered. Yes. Do you want to see? I need to turn the light on in the room. My face is getting dark. Do you want to just see if you can grab who we need to for?
We can grab hold of Ben, Tom, and Charlie. Tom appears not to be in Discord, which is slightly unfortunate. Yes, he is. He's appeared in the box with us. I couldn't find you originally, but we have got our second place man, Tom O'Farrell. Tom, can you hear us?
Hello, I can hear you.
Excellent, excellent. Well, once that wasn't really plain sailing from beginning to end, but you've come out on the second spot. How are you feeling after that one?
Well, that was great fun. Honestly, hats off to the other two guys. I mean, that's I'm a bit exhausted here, but that's my very first podium, so I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, cracking race. Bit of a shame for Scott, who ran wide slightly, and I managed to get P3 out of him. But yeah, absolute cracking race.
The race 1 didn't quite go your way, or certainly not to the same degree. You were just outside the top 5. Was there any kind of major change you did for this race, or just the way that the cards fell?
The simple answer to that is I kept out of trouble. Race 1, yeah, obviously, I started third. Was down to 20th by like corner 3 or something. So I'm pretty happy with getting back to whether it was 5th or 6th or whatever. So yeah, I mean, 2 quite good races, I think, for me.
Excellent stuff. Are we going to see the same for the final race of the night with the reverse grid?
No doubts. I want to win.
Well, you were the fastest man on track this time around, so we look forward to seeing you on that top step as soon as possible. Best of luck for the rest of the night and the rest of the season. Thank you very much, Tom O'Farrell.
Perfect. Thank you.
Charlie, are you with us?
I'm here. Yes, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, good sir. Well, you were having a great old scrap with primarily Tom. Ben, once again, kind of just kept his distance this time, but again, lots of fighting from you.
Yeah, I think I kept Ben honest for a good portion of the race, and then Tom got on my bumper, and we had a bit of a ding-dong. A really good race with Tom. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, another good race. Really enjoyed it.
Excellent stuff. So keeping within your prediction of the top 5 that you made last time around, are you a fan of reverse grids? Where are you thinking of putting yourself this time?
In all honesty, I do. I prefer fighting through a pack and overtaking people than leading from the front. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to this.
Awesome stuff. Well, once again, best of luck for the rest of the night and the rest of the season. Thank you very much, Charlie Heath. Well, Ben Abbott, are you with us?
I am indeed.
2 for 2 so far. So you're going to be starting right in the midst of the field. What are your thoughts towards that?
Keep out of trouble, first corners. I've done reverse grids in the MX-5s before. So it's just about keeping clean for the turn, couple of corners, and then working your way through. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Still no love of Donington? Or less love, I should say, rather than none?
I made a small setup change between first and second race, and it made the car a little bit nicer to drive, so I got down. I was a bit annoyed that Tom pit me. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get fast lap, 17.1, and then he just got like a few thousandths quicker than me.
Denied.
But no, it's good fun, and it was a good race with Charlie. There's a couple of corners I know I'm slower at, and that's where he gained big time on me, but yeah, with the closeness of the three of us, the moment you start battling, someone comes up behind Charlie's bumper, they start battling, I can drive away for a bit and get a bit of breathing space, and was able to do that. And then on the last laps I saw, I can't remember if Charlie made a mistake or Tom got a really good lap but got right onto his bumper, and I thought, okay, as long as I keep my head down and go quick, I should be able to get this one in the bag as well.
Excellent stuff. Well, as always, best of luck for the rest of the night and the rest of the season. Thank you very much, Ben Abbott.
I'd like to mention your intros and exits are awesome.
Well, thank you kindly, sir. Right, so we are waiting for race number 3 to be formed. So we'll have a few minutes before the next race. Right, reverse grids, Mr. Williams. What are your thoughts?
This it's always a difficult one because I think the fastest drivers at the beginning of the race want to get around as soon as possible. They don't like delays, I don't think. But it's it's going to be interesting. Only down to 8th place in the grid. So I don't have the information as to who that was.
I can tell you that as I screenshotted the race results.
Oh,
so
good.
starting on pole is going to be Nathan Birch.
It could be a very interesting one. But yeah, there's a fair few amount of people at the moment which might not necessarily be used to leading the pack going into turn 1. So it could be interesting.
Yeah, fair point. So Nathan Birch from Stu Neal on row 1, Alex Jameson and Alex Rhodes on row 2, Darren Abbott and Charlie Heath row 3, and Tom O'Farrell and Ben Abbott take on row 4. That's the reverse grid element. And then it should be Reynolds, Grassy, Large, Ransom, Brown, Duraggio, Thorne, Kapatka, Bramley. Wow, Timo Bramley all the way down in 17th. Oh, that was such a disastrous turn of fortune for him. It was 4th in round 1. And Toby Owen, Striker, Bailey, and Trev Hummer. God, two DNFs for our American. Hopefully, he can find some better fortune this time around. Ooh, darker light, or less light, I should say. Darker light? Not sure what that is. Less light, I should say.
Let us just get to the grid. There we are.
Fair enough. He chose on the timing screen as first.
And there we are. So that is our race 3, 8th place reverse grid for everyone. Still a couple of minutes for the beginning of the race.
So we have no Trev Hummer.
Do we not? It might let me run through. Sometimes it doesn't like to.
No.
No, unfortunately. It can sometimes be a bit glitchy. But no, so we have Nathan Birch and Stu Neal on pole as discussed. Alex Jameson and Alexander Rhodes in row 2. That could be an interesting one going into the first turn. Daniel Abbott and Charlie Heath next to each other. As I said, Ben Abbott all the way down in 8th, so he's going to get past Tom O'Farrell, Charlie Heath and his brother as well. I'm sure everyone will give each other the utmost of respect going into turn 1.
Yes, on a reverse grid that gets even more crowded, because that's exactly what the MX-5s need is more crowding going on.
No, it was fantastic to watch that many cars race round. Glenn Reynolds and Roy Grassy as well. Aaron Large. Scott Thorne 15th. All unchanged from their finishing positions.
Yes, alas, no Trev Hummer this time.
Is he not? Is he officially?
He's not returned, it would seem.
Doesn't look to be on the server at all, does he? That's a shame. That's if we don't manage to get him to the end. But yes, so Italy should be interesting next week as well. It should be the next round. I don't think it's one that should be quite an interesting one for the short chassis cars as they try and deal with tyre temps, things like that. So the final few seconds count down to race 3, final race of the season, final race of the first inaugural round of season 2.
was going to say, didn't the season that
We've
short.
got to the end already. 6 red lights appear on the gantry, everyone raring to go. The engine notes rising. The lights go out and away they go. That's a good start from everyone, I think. Jameson with a good start. Nathan Birch defending very early. Wants to get that very outside line, carry the speed through. Jameson trying to battle for second place. Can't get it done as they run through the first set of turns. People running wide onto the grass already. There's contact. Who is that? That was one of the Abbott brothers running on the grass.
Ben.
That was
Ben
Ben. Sliding off the grass back onto the circuit. Very well held. But that's brought him down back into 8th again from where he started. Lots of cars.
That could have gone so wrong, but he very well driven from everybody there.
That could indeed. 3 wide already on the first lap through what's that? The old hairpin Starkey's Bridge. Contact, and Charlie Heath spins. So does Ben Abbott. As they all turn around. There's contact as well. That's caused collisions as well down the field. You can see Nick Bailey getting through, but as the dust settles. Everyone just about.
Down to the last.
Indeed he is. No, he's not. Roy Cressy. No, I didn't see him involved in that, but he's has obviously got caught up in that and starts as well. Mr. Bramley falling down the order as well. What's happening at the front as well? We have the other Abbott brother spinning as well, going into Robert Chicane. I think there must have been contact with Tom O'Farrell under the braking zone, but he's all the way back down into 17th as well. Nick Bailey's having to pit, I think, by the looks of it. Not sure why that would be, unless he got it looks like a drive-through, so maybe he got a jump start. He must have had a jump start, I think, on the start of the race.
I guess so, because he didn't stop. So
no, but
I didn't see a message come up for that, so not sure what's going on there.
Maybe he did on his screen. It's always better to get rid of it, I guess.
Tom O'Farrell, they're having a good old argument with Stu O'Neill, not quite. Stu O'Neill, he's now side by side coming up through Schwant's curve. Tom O'Farrell's going to have the inside line. If he can outbrake Stu, which he does just about nicely done. Wow, that's a very wide line from Nathan Birch up front. That's a lot of people coming to try and join that party. There's Alex Jameson knocking on the door of the podium position with 17 and a half minutes ago. Long way to go yet. And the field's still very, very close together, as you would imagine. Side by 3 wide on the back straight. I would not want to be Glenn Reynolds right now. That's a very uncomfortable position to be in the middle of a 3 wide. No,
who was that? It's Constantine, all getting very crossed up. Who is that coming through right at the end as well? I didn't get to see who that was. I think it was Striker. Oh no, no, I think that was Striker. Charlie Heath down in 12th after that first lap instance.
We've got 2 cars stationary or just getting going again from the Robert Chicane. Oh no, not again! Toby Owen.
Glenn Reynolds as well is off the circuit as well at turn 1. So everyone's sort of struggling massively with these conditions as well, with such a mix of pace after the start. Alex Rhodes down in 15th. So Ben Abbott's up into 13th in his recovery. Scott Thorne in 12th. Glenn Reynolds getting overtaken as well by Roy Grassi after that. Oh dear, there's so many changes going on. Let's have a little look. So Nathan Birch still holding on to first place, but you can see I think Tom O'Farrell's just starting to reel him in a little bit. Stu Neal under massive pressure from Alex Jameson. Can Jameson get the run into the braking zone of Roberts? He can't. Falls back behind Stu Neal, but you can see I think Stu might not be able to hold him off for long. Kevin Ranson's on the back of that battle as well.
Indeed, it's an uncomfortable position for Stu Neal to be in. Lots of fighting going on throughout the field as always. There's Arnie Striker that's alongside. Is that Charlie Heath? I think he's alongside.
I think it is, yes.
Yeah, there goes Charlie. So he's on his own recovery.
Contact between Ben Abbott. And that was...
Oh, that was a big nudge there from, I think it was on... was that Kapapka that
it was,
nudged?
yes.
I think it was. Wow,
bounced around the a couple of the cars going through the turn as well.
Goodness me, as That's Charlie Heath being hustled by Arnie Striker there as they come up the hill towards McLean's once again. Side by side, that's Jameson for the podium spot. He's wrestling from Stu Neal. These two have crossed swords many, many times before. And there's Gavin Ransom wanting to get involved in the party as well. That's a challenge for the lead. Just going out of camera shot. Oh, side by side, Jameson and Stu Neal. That combination's not done yet. Gavin Ransom's got a great ringside seat for this. Now, Stu Neal's going to have his exit compromised from the Robert chicane. Here comes Jameson, along with Ransom. Ransom's boxed in. He's going to go on the inside line, 3 wide on the way down towards the first turn. There goes Tom O'Farrell. He's forced Nathan Birch into a mistake. So Tom O'Farrell has taken over the lead as we got that 3-1. Oh, that's a big slide. Well caught, though, but that's
but Stu Neal, in a desperate attempt to avoid the back of Ransom's car, got tagged by I think it was Jameson, wasn't it? So yeah,
that's a shame for that to have ended like that.
Yes,
that's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. As there's Birch still on the back of Tom O'Farrell now, up into third position with a bit of breathing space is Gavin Ransom. Alex Jameson's fallen about 2 seconds behind, side by side. Jameson's trying to fend off the advances of Aaron Large with Josh Brown right behind them. Ooh, if there's damage on that car, he's got a lot of work to do.
Indeed. But yes, such a shame. Ransom held the slide very well, and then avoided getting contact. But just they all concertinaed and got squeezed out.
But it was a shame because it looked like he'd saved it and they were going to go on their way, and sadly it all undid itself in the final moments of that particular slide. There's Charlie Heath. Well, we've seen him work his way through the pack before. He said he enjoys doing it, so here he is again in the position of having to do so. Ben Abbott, our double race winner, now up to 9th position, so he's back inside the top 10. There's progress to be made then from the champion. As we now look at Aaron Large still hustling Alex Jameson, heading down through Hollywood and Craner Curves. We'll see. Oh no, there's trouble with about Stu Neal.
There's a lot going on down here, isn't it? Stu Neal's off, just regaining at turn 1. I think he was making contact with this man once again. Was
Kapaka again.
Yeah.
Oh dear, oh dear. He's been involved in quite a few scrapes tonight. Is Toby Owen's teammate. Ben Abbott's just got purple sector 1, so he's pressing on nonetheless. There's the other Abbott. Dan Abbott side by side with Scott Thorne he's arguing with. I think it is.
No,
big move. Beg your pardon.
Daringu. I could get told off for that pronunciation, but there we are.
I think it might be Deregiu. Apologies for getting the name wrong. We're doing our best with it. Please do correct us.
The orange car.
Yeah, the Tangerine.
Yeah. Charlie Heath and G Brown battling as well. Nearly 3 wide as well. Who's cut them up in the middle? Oh, that is Charlie Heath. Sorry,
Charlie in the middle.
Yeah,
he's already claimed 6th position from Josh Brown. He's now having an argument with Aaron Large. Alex Jameson's taking the opportunity to disappear from this particular pack. He's closing in on Gavin Ransom, so he could well be challenging for the podium before. On Charlie Heath on the outside of the Craner Curves down into the old hairpins. Got the move done. Has he got the exit right? Yes, he has. Nice move, Charlie Heath.
Very good move.
Place.
Very good move, yes. Large didn't really have an answer for that, does he? Heath was all over him and got it done. Jameson, as he said, disappearing up the road as well, trying to chase down Ransom, interestingly enough. And Nathan Birch doing well to hold on to 2nd. Falling off from the leader a bit, but doing well.
Yeah, he's not quite got the pace on Tom O'Farrell. I mean, Tom was nearly a full second faster last time around. So, I mean, in fairness, I think Nathan Birch probably realises he hasn't quite got the pace of Tom O'Farrell up front, but doing well to maintain the gap at least, or trying to build the gap, I should say, between himself and Gavin Ransom. Further back, Aaron Large, we saw him being overtaken with that great move from Charlie Heath. He's still fending off Josh Brown. Ben Abbott still trying to recover from his various incidents tonight. Now at the back of this particular train in 8th position, so well inside the top 10. There's Arnie Striker right behind them. So, that's going to be too much. Oh, well caught, Aaron Large. My word, that got very lively.
That is definitely going to be a brown trouser moment for him, and that isn't it?
Very much so, but he bounces off of Brown. He hits. Well, Josh Brown bounces off the door. He's going to lose a position. Oh, Ben Abbott nearly got taken out by the sliding Josh Brown there. My word, it's still all going off. We've still got 10 minutes to go.
Indeed. Striker then follows through and gets past Brown as well. Trying to then get round... who are we looking at? So Arnold Striker trying to get past Aaron Large as well. Get up quite a bit more speed, isn't he, after that? After all their moving about. And through McLean's gets the manoeuvre done. And so it's Brown contacts Large on the exit of McLean's. So Brown trying to follow Striker's line, wasn't he?
Yeah. Alex Rhodes is that. Thank you very much. I'll have some of this. And that's Scott Thorne that's going to do the same. Ooh, that gap a little narrow by the time he gets to it. He comes down Brown, as well.
So Brown giving that position back actually to Large as well. It looked like he definitely held up there, and unless it was another timing warning on the screen as well, but held up, trying to clear any sort of penalties. Giving that position back.
I don't make the move on Aaron Large. That's for 10th position. Should have that one. Oh, no, he outbraked himself a little bit. Going into, I don't know whether he locked up or what happened there. It's Redgate. That's potentially going to give a run on for Josh Brown on the inside of Hollywood. Side by side. Here we go again. Into Granite Curves. Who's going to be braver down here? Into the old hairpin? No, Josh doesn't fancy that one. Slots in behind Aaron Large for that fight to continue for 11th position. That's allowing Dan Abbott to get a bit of distance going. Start to chase off after Scott Thorne.
Indeed, some fantastic battles throughout the grid once again. Lap 8 at the moment with 8 minutes remaining. Still sees Tom O'Farrell in first place. Nathan Birch, I'll get my teeth in a second. And then Gavin Ranson and Alex Jameson. Looks like there could be a little battle brewing between them towards the end of the race. Charlie Heath, I think, putting in some very quick times to gain on 4th place ahead. And the winner of the first 2 races sliding through the grass on turn 1, Ben Abbott, up into 6th
Nick Bailey.
at the moment.
Nick Bailey's in trouble. He's down at Starkey's Bridge. Oh wow, that's gone really wrong. He would have gone way too deep down at the old hairpin. It's to send him in that direction. But alas, that is Scuzzle once again. He doesn't like that. He's fed up with painting the barrier on the infield. He's decided to have a go at the bridge itself.
Trying something else for a bit. Painting a different bit. It's going to be very difficult for him to get going again without striking someone. As we can just see Large and Brown battling as they come through Starkey's Bridge side by side. Because they were side by side for a long portion of the track as well, weren't they? And now Jay Brown gets in front of Aaron Large, but he's probably not safe at all, I think, as Aaron wants to turns in very early through McLean's, and here's that Falcon. Glenn Reynolds overstepping on his own. The back swung around and couldn't hold it enough, and finds himself on the grass.
I think it was a bit of avoidance there from Glenn Reynolds, but that's the worst place to try and either steer sharply or brake, as the car's really unbalanced as you're going over the crest up there at Coppice. It is a very difficult corner to get right, and if you're trying to make an adjustment mid-corner, it's generally only ever going to go wrong.
Indeed. You can see Nick Bailey did get going again. Toby Owen down in 19th as well. There was quite a little lineup of cars all the way up until... So Large Brown still battling away as well, which Mr. Reynolds was just on the back of a moment ago. The top 6 all the way a little bit gapped.
The fastest lap, the difference in fastest lap between Gavin Ransom and Alex Jameson, 1,000th of a second. Gavin Ransom's favour. My word.
So very tight still.
There was that Capacia that was wide.
Yes.
Doing a bit of lawn mowing down there at McLean's. Scott Thorne fending off the advances of Dan Abbott.
It was indeed. Alex Rhodes, good result for him at the moment, holding on to 8th. Everyone else in sort of top 10, a little bit spaced out at the moment, aren't they? It's when you
Indeed.
start looking at 11th place and below, that's when you see this, the scraps brewing between various different people.
That's what we love about the MX-5s. Oh, side by side. That's Kapatka and Bramley having an argument at Redgate. They've managed to keep themselves going though. Oh, slightly further back, Roy Grassi and easy finder with Stu Neal.
Stu Neal, indeed. I think this gentleman here, car number 40, fell down a couple of spaces.
Deragiu, I think that is, or that's the pronunciation I'm going with. Roy Grassi and Stu Neal, they have shared the same bit of track many times.
I do find
Tom O'Farrell doing exactly what Ben Abbott did in race 1, just disappearing off into the sunset. Now that he's gotten the leads, we see Bramley, Tim and Bramley.
Bramley and Kapakta.
Yeah, still fighting for 13th place. Less than 4 minutes to go now, as looks like Bramley's going to have the run on Kapakta, heading down towards Redgate once again. Right behind them is that Grassi, Neal, and is that Deragiu in there as well?
It looks like it is as well. There's still the battle between Lige and Brown as well. I think not finished quite yet. Lige managing to get a little bit more space over him. But Bramley very good manoeuvre. Just misty in the beginnings of that, but on the exit of turn 1, Bramley gets 13th place.
So Jameson is going to start to hustle Gavin Ransom as well for that last podium spot. Seeing the gap between those two down to 0.2 of a second on the back straight and down towards the Robert chicane. Jameson thinks about it but opts not to go for it. We're not quite in the last lap yet, so no massive desperation moves going on just yet.
Just unless he's handed the opportunity, I think he's just holding on to that. I could be seeing him trying to turn 1. Seems to be a bit quicker at the moment. I think Bramley's fallen down a couple of spaces. Is he off the circuit? No, I think it's just run wide onto the grass there.
Yeah. Oh, again, side by side for third. Jameson's nosed into the lead, just into the lead of that fight, just about. But again, Ransom's not willing to get that up just yet. Door banging between the two. Ransom is trying to outbrake Jameson down to the old hairpin. Does manage to hold it indeed. But can Jameson get the momentum he needs? Not quite. And right behind them is Charlie Heath.
Jameson managed to get this car back up to speed fairly quickly, but can't capitalise it quite yet. But Jameson looking for any gap he can to get around Ransom. Ransom defending as they go into McLean's, holding him off long enough. And as you said,
tiny bit of contact between the two. Jameson's going to have the inside line coming out of Coppice. He's nosed into the lead. Here comes Charlie Heath as well to join that fight well and truly. Jameson has managed to get up into third position, but Gavin Ransom's not done on that one yet. They're still side by side coming
trying
into
to
the
squeeze him
game.
out.
Whoa.
Just holds him off.
Wow.
Just holds him off. So very good
I was
manoeuvre
expecting
there.
that to get very nasty. Whoa, there's Ben Abbott in the background really pushing hard. Here comes Charlie Heath now to try and really shake up this battle for the last podium spot. Charlie Heath's going straight for the racing line. My word. Oh, beg your pardon. No, is that Ranson?
That's Ranson, yes. No, Ranson followed Jameson. Charlie Heath stuck with the outside line. And yeah, Jameson's exit was compromised, wasn't he? But yeah, he's still. So 2 AJR cars. There's so many AJR cars around the grid. 2 AJR cars hounding Mr. Jameson.
Oh, and they managed to get through Old Hairpin without too much trading paint going on.
Just about.
Just about indeed, but Charlie's a bit boxed in there. He can't go to the inside line.
There's contact between Ranson and Jameson. No. There was no way Jameson knew he was there.
Ben Abbott has gone past all 3 of them to the podium.
Just pick that off. Just like, yeah, I'll have that. Oh no, the Jameson was looking for his racing line, turned in as normal, didn't know that the nose of Ranson was just on the inside.
Oh my goodness me! What
And
could have been a wonderful three-way fight has just disintegrated sadly, and Ben Abbott has just shot through the lot, and he's going to sit on the podium 3 times out of 3.
As we have the last 10 seconds now turning down. So where is the leader? The leader's just coming through down into the old hairpin. As we have Charlie Heath getting the best of Gavin Ransom, teammate on that one. And so we thought. Just make it stick. But yeah, the back end managed to catch the back end very well, didn't he? That's going to lose him some time.
That's one of those moments where you know someo's really close to you and you're just screaming at your tires, grip, grip, grip.
I need this now, please, yes. But no, Mr. Ben Abbott's having a well of a time now up into the podium position.
Well, does that not show that you just never give up? You don't
No.
know, you never know what's going to happen in your race.
What's happened here?
Oh,
Just
Alex
Alexander
Rose.
Rhodes is off the track as well. Just at the end.
He's repainting Nick Bailey's artwork.
He's helping, yes.
Winner for race number 3, flash of the lights as well. Tom O'Farrell takes the top spot in race number 3. Well deserved, well played, well driven. Sir Nathan Birch is going to come home second, starting towards the front. Well, he was the pole man, wasn't he? And he's kept his constant pace. Very nice done for second. Ben Abbott, well, has come home to take the last podium spot. Charlie Heath, he seems pretty happy about that, coming home in 4th. Gavin Ransom takes the 5th. Well, there's the usual celebration from Ben Abbott.
They're all doing it now.
They're all doing it, yeah. Why not? Why not? Jameson, he could have been in the position number to match his car number, but was not to be. 6th position for the South African. Striker 7, Scott Thorne 8, Dan Abbott 9, and Josh Brown rounds out the top 10.
Oh dear. So yes, time to breathe now after that.
Somewhat.
But yeah, no, that was quite incredible towards the end as well. And yeah, very well done to all of the racers for getting to the end of that one of race 3. Slightly more fraught than the other races, but very entertaining. So let's just come out of that. So we need to hear from some, I'm sure, very happy drivers for their finishing positions. So yes. So are you pinging people, are you?
We have 1. We have 2. We're just missing Mr. Abbott. So if you ping here, that's the one I didn't ping. So if you see if you can find Mr. Abbott, please be great. That'd be wonderful. Let's have a chat with our podium 3. Let's have a chat with Nathan Birch. We haven't spoken to you this evening. So starting on the front row and keeping a nice consistent pace to come home second. You must be quite happy about that one.
Yeah, it's miles better than the first 2 races for me. Starting on pole with the vinegar just helped me keep my nose clean. Just managed to keep a decent pace. Pace was a bit slower than the first 2 races, but yeah, can't complain with second.
Yes, you've had a bit of a mixed night, haven't you? You were 8th, I believe, in race 2. I'm just looking through, and you were 10th in race 1. So, was it a case of just kind of keep your head down and hope for race 3, or was there a strategy being played out?
No, it was just a case of keeping my head down, keep out of trouble, try and hit every breaking point. I had a few wobbly moments, but managed to bring it home in the end.
Fair play. Right, it is Vallelunga next time around. What are your thoughts towards the Italian alternate to Monza?
It's not a track I know well, so I'm going to have to do quite a bit of practice in the next week. Quite happy with the setup, just want to make a few more tweaks to it and should be alright. But yeah, looking forward to trying a track I've not really done much before.
Excellent. I doubt you'll be the only one, in fairness, but we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season. Thank you very much. Nathan Birch.
Yeah.
Well, Ben Abbott, 3 out of 3 podiums, although not didn't quite make it onto the top spot this time, but good lord, that's is that not a testament to never give up?
Yeah. That was a messy start. Didn't realise that Tom's nose was just going to catch the front, so got tagged there. My own mistake for that one. Rejoined and then got caught up in a bit of a bump at, I don't know what the corner is, but a little bit later on. Back down to pretty much last with a nice yellow engine because I got hit up the backside in first gear, so I revved it. So just thought, okay, get the best points I can. Just kept working my way through, and then I saw the little coming together of I don't know who it was, but Charlie Heath and somebody else, and I was like, oh, 6th to 3rd. I love that. Thank you very much. And yeah, just that, as you said, testament to keep going and keep your head down and try to do the best you can.
Fair play. So Valalunga, I think you referenced this one earlier in the night. What's your thoughts towards this track?
I do like it. It's a good circuit. It's got a long first straight, and it's easy, heavy braking corner, so it's a good for overtaking. Which should be fun. But I'm looking forward to it next week.
Excellent. We wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season. Thank you very much, champion Ben Abbott.
Cool.
Race winner Tom O'Farrell, are you with us? Sounds nice, doesn't it?
Not gonna lie, I quite enjoyed that one. I was in a bit of two minds whether just to keep the pace up and keep it on the circuit, or whether to try and go for another fastest lap. But yeah, honestly, great fun.
So you must have when you saw Nathan was you were gaining on him. I would say quickly, but you were gaining on him quite consistently. You must have thought at the back of your mind that you had the pace advantage to storm through, or again, was that not part of the process? You were just kind of taking everything as it came.
I was just kind of taking it easy, to be honest. I mean, anything can happen. A bit of lag could happen, or someone could have an incident. So I just thought, look, the guys behind me aren't catching. I'll take my time. And then he was quite slow coming out of the chicane. So I just thought, I'll get in a slipstream. I'll just get down the inside. And he made the pass kind of easy for me, to be honest. He gave me all the room in the world. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Big shout out to everyone at home for watching. I'm hoping they enjoyed the race. Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Valalunga next time around, is that the track you're familiar with?
Simple answer, no. But yeah, I mean, we'll just see. Again, just take it as and when. See what happens, do a little bit of practice, and yeah, just see what we can do.
Looking forward to it. Best of luck for the rest of the season. Thank you very much, Tom O'Farrell.
Thank you very much.
Well, what a night we've had, Mr. Williams.
That was fantastic first round of the season, of season 2. So yeah, we shall see. It's not one clear winner either necessarily, although Ben does seem very, very strong on pace at the start of the race and can carry it through. But yeah, it should be interesting battles throughout to see what happens with the championship over the season.
Absolutely, yeah. I think different tracks are going to bring different, so if not necessarily different winners, but certainly different front runners. That's part of the joy of this series. Again, whilst the setups are open to tune to the driver's liking, these cars don't kind of massively differ from one another. So, yeah, if tonight's anything to go by, we're in for a cracking season.
It should be very, very exciting. Right, so if there are any final thoughts from you, I may bid you farewell this evening.
Please do, good sir. My brain is sufficiently melted after all that. What a night it has been. We hope you viewers, either live or post-event, have enjoyed it as much as we have.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining me, Chris.
Pleasure.
Right, so that is Chris Buxton, my colleague there. Just to finalise the stream, just to go through the calendar quickly. So as has already been mentioned several times, Valeninia Classic is the next round for round 2 on the 13th of June, starting at roughly 7:45 to 8 in the evening. 3 races through the season as well. Don't forget, hopefully by next week as well, we should also have a stream for the AM lobby, but you do also have the streams and the viewpoints of the other races as well. AGR Motorsports streaming as well, Aaron Large as well, with a few different interesting battles along the way. Trev Harper as well, who unfortunately did drop out a couple of times. But for the AM lobby as well, Chris Callahan, Benjamin Oates, Will Harper, Alistair Pollock, and Thorsten Jaeger as well. So yes, thank you very much everyone for watching the first round. It's very, very good to have you. Thank you very much as well to Positive Perception as well for joining us, talking to us as well at the beginning. We shall all see you all at the next round. I hope you enjoy your weeks, and we'll see you next week, and have a good one.